innovation, influencers, evangelists, brand identification, and pancakes. I'm Tanya Hall for ZDNet, and joining me is Guy Kawasaki. He is the Chief Evangelist of Canva and board member of Cheese. Welcome, Guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is Canva?
Canva is an online graphics design service. Its intent is to empower people to create great graphics. So think of it as Photoshop or Illustrator for the rest of us. It's fast, it's free, it's online. We're trying to empower people to be great graphic designers, everybody.
And you actually got your start, at least certainly you have a lot of fame for being the chief evangelist at Apple.
Yes.
You've certainly accomplished much more than that, although that certainly is a part of your credentials. What should a chief evangelist do?
Kick ass. Uh, Evangelism comes from Greek word meaning bringing the good news. So what an evangelist does is bring the good news. I've brought the good news of Macintosh that empowered people to become more creative and productive. And now I'm bringing the good news of Canva, empowering people to design great graphics. And as a director on the board of Cheese, I'm also empowering people or helping people share these special private memories and moments.
As we get further and further into the future and digital transformation, some have started very late, some have been transforming their business for some time. And that's a topic that you speak a lot about, transforming your business, maybe even transforming your personal brand. What's wrong with digital transformation? I mean, what do you see that brands or businesses are doing that's a mistake?
Well, who am I to condemn people's efforts, right? Because one of the things I've learned in my career is that you just never know. And something that you think is really stupid and just can't possibly work does work. And the thing you assume for sure is going to work doesn't work. But the thing that I don't like is that everybody jumps on the bandwagon. So they jump on the bandwagon of one social media platform or one way to use a social media platform. And I think the perspective is always, or not always, it's always when you're making a mistake, is what do we want to push? What do we want to promote? What do we want to achieve? Which is different than what do our customers or potential customers want to see or hear or read. And people need to put themselves in the mindset of what the customer or potential customer wants as opposed to what you want to do, because the two are not the same. You may want to promote the hell out of what you do, but your customers may want to learn something instead.
Are you an influencer, Guy?
It depends how you mean that. I mean, that can be taken as a negative or a positive. The negative connotation of influencer is, you're this like famous for being famous, provided a sex video, you go out and you do dumbass things, you blow things up, that kind of stuff. You sleep over in the White House, you do that kind of stuff. That's one kind of influencer, the famous for being famous YouTube personality. I'm certainly not that. I think I have, 6,000 people on my YouTube channel. Not that I ever posted a YouTube channel. If you mean it in a more positive way, where an influencer has a certain perspective or insight or expertise that can separate the wheat from the chaff for you and tell you, you really ought to try this, you ought to try that, this is what's good, this is what's bad, then yes, I hope I'm an influencer in that way. I hope I influence people to use Macintosh, to use Canva, to use Privy, to use, certain kinds of products and services.
How, as an influencer, do you decide what your brand should be partnered with?
That I tend to fall in love with stuff, and when I fall in love with stuff like Canva or Privy or Macintosh, I just start spreading the good news of it, and that's kind of the order. I don't get me wrong, I have been paid to evangelize stuff and use my influence for stuff. But I also do a lot just for the sheer pleasure of helping people and the sheer pleasure of deriving satisfaction from ensuring that people are more efficient, more productive, more creative. And that I do without respect to, am I getting paid to do this? So there's a lot of things, like a lot of products and stuff that I push on social media. I don't disclose a relationship because there is no relationship. You know, the FTC wants you to say, well, if you tell people to ride a Mercedes or drive a Mercedes, you have to disclose your Mercedes-Benz brand ambassador. So I have to do that. But when I tell people to use something else and I don't disclose it, it means by definition, I just love it.
So what brands, besides maybe some that you're partnering with, are getting it right, especially as they approach influencers?
Oh, so few examples. You know, I wish you hadn't asked me that question.
Okay, well, then who's getting it wrong? Give an example of, maybe even if you don't want to list the brand or business, what is an inappropriate, because you said there are a few examples. So
Yes.
of who's doing it right. So give an example of how to approach that in the wrong way.
Well, approaching it in the wrong way is you have a person who has a certain brand, positioning, you know, reputation, and they're promoting something that just makes no sense. Um, what would be an example of this? Uh,
Okay.
I will come back to this. I will have an example for you of
All
this.
right.
Okay.
Then
Or,
let's skip to the elephant in the room, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
People are talking about IHOP. I mean, IHOB,
yeah.
if you will. And you talk a lot about being able to move and transform with your customers. So did IHOP slash IHOB, I'm not even sure how to refer to them anymore.
Yeah.
Did they innovate and transform to what their customers want, or did they lose their way?
Um, Listen, for the longest time when I read those stories, I thought it was the onion. I mean, I thought it was a joke. You know, like you're gonna go from pancakes to burgers. I mean, you could tell me that you're gonna go from pancakes to more healthy food or something, and you know that kind of makes sense to me. But it seems to me that there's Betty's Burgers, there's In-N-Out Burgers, there's Five Guys Burgers. I mean, you can just like name 5 or 10 right off the top of your head of places where you can get good burgers. So does the world need another burger place? Not clear to me. And then there's this bigger picture, like unlike many people in government, I believe that climate change is real. And one of the ways you can reduce your impact on climate change is eat less beef. So in a time where, we're kind of causing the end of the world by doing, among many other things, eating meat, which has the issue of the methane and the raising of cattle and all that kind of stuff, you're now going to create a burger chain? I mean, why don't you IHOC, International House of Cigarettes? It just doesn't make sense to me. So from a marketing standpoint, I don't understand how you're going to be like unique and valuable, because that's where great marketing happens. You have something unique and valuable. When iPod first came out, it was a unique and valuable thing. It had a usable user interface. You could get a lot of music inexpensively and legally, and that was a unique and valuable thing. So what's going to make IHOB unique and valuable? Are they going to have a better burger? Maybe, but like based on what? Their ability to make pancakes? I mean, I could see that. Uh, and what's value about it? Do we need another place to eat burgers? I don't think so. So I mean, I don't see it as unique or valuable. So you want to know how I really feel? I mean, I really thought it was a joke. Seriously, I really thought, no, they're kidding me. Make
You
an international house of burritos. I mean, I don't,
Well, I just need to know who's going to be the king of pancakes now. That's it. Because I mean, I thought that was the place to go get pancakes. And that was very unique. I mean, you
yes,
didn't,
exactly. Well, I mean, when you think of pancakes, you thought of IHOP, right? And now you're gonna transform that to, I think of burgers, I think of IHOP, as opposed to Five Guys or In-N-Out or even McDonald's. I mean, that's a stretch. I
come on, guy.
just
Now you're making me hungry. Let's just stop
Well,
this
you know
thing.
what they should? You could make the case, real-time marketing here, you change it to IHOB, and it's International House of Breakfast. So they want to own the breakfast market. And then now you might say, well, if you own the breakfast market, what about the lunch and dinner market? But I think that there are enough people who like to eat breakfast food all day long, right? So I don't know, who decided that an omelet is only for breakfast? Who decided that pancakes are only for breakfast? So if you told me they went from IHOP to IHOB to broaden the market, because now at IHOB, International House of Breakfast, you can have pancakes, you can have breakfast burritos, you can have omelets, you can have, vegetarian omelets. What a concept. Salmon omelets. I can understand that. But burgers, nah, no friggin' way.
All right. Well, as social media blows up over this topic and we all want to weigh in, I kind of agree with you. I'd actually like to see IHOB, the B for breakfast, but that's just not the way
There
it
you
is.
go.
What's the big takeaway for leadership when you have such a reputable brand and the internet's blowing up and people are talking on
Yeah.
Twitter and Facebook and social media platforms about maybe a branding decision that you made for your business?
Yeah.
Do you do a 180? Do you turn around and say just kidding, or do you embrace it and move forward?
My observation is that when something really bad happens, and you're the thing that caused that badness, you think that the whole world is staring at you. The whole world knows this, and you're the CEO of IHOB or IHOP, and you think you're driving down the street, and people look at you and they're saying, that's the idiot who renamed the company. The fact is, most people don't know. Some people like me think it's a joke. Some people really just don't care. So, um, like when United broke that guy's guitar, and I don't know, 35 million watch United breaks guitars. United is still here. People are still flying on United. So I think those kind of things, it gets really bad for a while, and you think Twitter sphere is blowing up, and people are, boycotting. We're not gonna eat at IHOP anymore, and whatever. I'll never fly United again. And quite frankly, the people who say that, who threaten a boycott, they probably weren't going to eat at IHOP anyway, and they probably weren't going to fly United anyway. So what I've noticed is after a while, nobody cares. The dust settles, and it's business as usual. Having said that, I don't think you should say intentionally, well, how can we blow it and really look like idiots and be the center of all this controversy? That's not a strategy either. I mean, it's preferential it's preferable you don't break the guitar and you don't kill the dog in the overhead compartment. That would be better. But I don't think people need to exactly panic. They should do what's right for the customer regardless.
Guy, people seek your advice all over. And in fact, you could probably be the chief evangelist for just about any brand. I recently interviewed Simon Hudson, the founder of
Yeah.
Cheese and the app Privy. Why did you choose to work with Privy?
Because and this has been a path of mine for many times. It's because I love the product. So I'm a heavy Privy user, and the heaviest use of it is, believe it or not, for my family. So I have a family album. It only has 6 people in it, 4 kids, my wife and I. We have shared in the past month or so about 420 photos. Okay. So these photos are photos that are too silly, too dumb, too awkward, too ugly to be Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, well, not Pinterest, Twitter, anything like that. Because I think social media for this particular use is broken. Social media is competitive. How many likes, how many followers, how many whatever comments. Uh, Social media is also kind of hostile. It's trolls, it's fake accounts, it's people attacking you. So you post a picture that's appropriate for your family. Do you want to deal with trolls who are saying you shouldn't be eating beef because it's causing global warming? So there's that factor, and then it's also so inefficient. So because there's so much action, all these companies are dedicating themselves to guessing who should see the post based on comments, likes, psychographics, I don't know, location in Moscow, whatever it is. They've got all these algorithms. So that's the total opposite of Privy. So with Privy, I have a family album. It has 6 people in it. Unless I'm an idiot and I invite a troll, there are no trolls there because it's double opt-in. I have to invite and they have to accept, right? So there's no trolls, no advertising, no fake Russian bots. Everybody sees everything. The algorithm is everybody sees everything. There's nothing to gain. And it's not going to have ads. It's going to be a subscription model. So this is the place I post my best stuff. Because I know exactly who's going to get it. Now you can make the case, oh, they can take the screenshot. And if my kids take a screenshot and share it, I can deal with that. I mean, there's a way to deal with that. But, case in point, I posted a picture. We have a pug, or had a pug, and the pug pooped in my bathroom, not in the toilet, on the floor. So I posted that picture to the Privy Kawasaki family album. That's not an Instagram moment. It's not a Facebook moment. That's a Privy moment. It's a place for sharing private memories and private moments and private pictures. That's the use case. It's an antisocial app.
Well, it sounds like it could certainly put a challenge to those people who are tired of sharing everything on social media and being trolled. And maybe IHOB will actually sign up for Privy and share their personal pictures of pancakes and burgers. I really appreciate your time, Guy. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about Privy or Canva, how can they do that?
Yeah, the most direct is email, which is guykawasaki@gmail. And if you want to see the most manually curated, posted, and shared feed of mine, it is by far LinkedIn. So it's LinkedIn, and I'm Guy Kawasaki on LinkedIn. That's where I post stuff that I want shared, very consciously. And just a word of warning for people who, listening to this and might go look, just so they know what to expect when they get there. People should understand that I am pro-vaccination. I believe in global change. Now, I'm not in the sense that I believe that it's good. I believe that it's happening, okay? So vaccination, global change, gun control, open immigration, women's rights. So I'm very, very contrary to a lot of political thought. So they understand, like, I'm a hardcore left-winging liberal libtard, okay?
Right. Well, that's a lot. That's all your LinkedIn profile. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Go look up my LinkedIn profile. You'll see what I mean.
Well,
can I tell you a story? Do we still have time?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's because about a year and a half ago, I was in Germany, and some friends said, you guys are going through some very interesting times. And we've often wondered why our grandparents didn't speak up. And so, Guy, you're in kind of the same time. You should never be in a position where your grandchildren are asking, Guy, did you resist? So I decided I would resist.
Well, there you go. Maybe that should be Chief Evangelist. You should resist. I don't know. Well, I really appreciate it, like I said, and I will definitely be able to follow you on LinkedIn. I'll certainly do that myself. In fact, if you guys want to follow me, you can, or find more of my interviews. You can do that right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic. Or if you want to connect with me on social media, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and you can go to my website, tanyahall.net, and I've got links to all my social platforms, including Pinterest. And if you want to chat with me, I hope you'll do so on Twitter. I'm at Tanya Hall Radio on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.